I'm live now. I'm live now. Hello, hello everyone. Thank you for coming along today. If you are joining me, please let me know that you are there so I can say hello to you, so I know who's on the other end. If you are watching the replay, please hashtag replay and let me know you're there. You can let me know where you're coming from, and if you know the Aboriginal country that you are on, please let me know that as well. So what we're here to talk about today is offering scholarships to Aboriginal people and marginalised groups. And this is something that I get a lot from my clients asking me these questions, especially when that business wants to be quite equitable. And equity is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it is certainly something, it's certainly a process that we can go through to get to that space of equality. So there are a few parts to this, and I'm going to take you through it today. But before I go any further, I do want to do an acknowledgement of country. So I, Louise O'Reilly of the Warawa and Noongar people, would like to acknowledge the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation as the traditional and ongoing custodians of the lands and waters on which I am on today, where my home is, my office is, where I raise my family. I would like to pay my respects to the elders of this place and really show and share my appreciation for them, their guidance, their leadership in our community. I'd also like to extend an acknowledgement to the custodians on the place in which you're on, and express my respects to those elders or whatever titles they refer to themselves on the land that you're on. So if you are unaware of what an acknowledgement of country is and want to learn a little bit more about it, if you go into the video section on my Facebook page, there is a series, an educational series on acknowledgement of country, what it is, who can do it, what it's all about. You can go and check that out. I'll put a link in the description after I get off this video, and put it in the comments too. So let's get back to the subject of why we are actually here on this live. Now we are, and I'm really hoping that I am live, because normally there are a few people who pop on. So the last time no one came on, the video didn't upload properly, so I don't know what happened on that end, but I hope that I am live. But anyway, we'll just record another one if it doesn't work out. Okay, so the first thing, if you are a business owner and you are considering offering scholarships to Aboriginal people or marginalised groups, the first thing I want you to really consider and think about is, why are you actually offering them? What is the purpose of it? What does that mean for you and your business? And what does that mean for those marginalised groups? And depending on what your intention is, and sometimes you might have to sit with this a little while and go, why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this? And if it is, because you realise the systems that are in play are not balanced in any way, and you're trying to even the balances, that can be a really good thing. It could be because you genuinely care and have love for those groups of people, and you want to show your support in those areas and use your skills and gifts and services to be able to support them in a deeper way. It could be because you want to bring more diversity into your business. Now, with saying that, I want to ask you this question that you can answer, and it is, in your business, in its current state, would you consider it to be diverse in terms of the way that people look, in terms of the way people identify, in terms of level of ability or disability, in terms of the way people process information? Are they on different neurological spectrums? All kinds of different ways. Is it diverse? If it's not diverse, there is a chance that by you offering scholarships to marginalised people, you are could essentially be inviting those particular people into a space that isn't necessarily safe for them to be in. Now, I know that might feel a little bit jolting or a little bit jarring to hear, but hear me out. When we create our spaces, a lot of the time we create them to look like us, sound like us, think like us. It's a lot of sameness. And a lot of people try to find communities who are like-minded. So they want to kind of go through the same things we're going through. And what happens is when you build a whole community of people who are very similar, and then you grab someone and invite them into that space who identifies very differently to those people in your group, it can feel very, very horrible. Horrible is the word I'm going to say. It feels very horrible because you don't relate with anyone in that community. It's like there's a community and then you've been placed in this community. You don't actually belong in that space. So what we can start to do before we even consider scholarships of that sort, we can start to look at, okay, have you actually done the work on yourself to acknowledge your privilege? Have you done the work to look at your unconscious biases that you have? Have you looked at your business? Have you looked at the processes that it does? Have you looked at how your business shows up? And have you looked at where your business stands on lots of social issues? Have you looked at how accessible your business is to different groups of people? And are you educating, and are you choosing to commit to continue educating yourself on Aboriginal people and marginalised groups in the experiences that they have, and listening to the stories of what they're going through, listening to their voices, and then looking at you as an individual and as a member of a whole community, and then also in your business, and looking at how can I mold and innovate myself and my business in a way that supports these people, who supports people who are experiencing things in different ways than I am. So before you even get to that point of offering those scholarships to marginalised groups, consider those things. Now, if you do need help in any of that stuff, that's where I can come in. And if you would like to work with me, I am available to do that work with you. Now, I want to talk a little bit about scholarships and the whole reason for scholarships. And you know, a lot of people say, oh, I want to offer Aboriginal scholarships, I want to offer scholarships for this particular marginalised group. Now, let's sit back for a second and look at it and go, why is it that these people would require a scholarship? It certainly isn't because they are Aboriginal. It certainly isn't because they are a particular marginalised group in our society. The reason they would require a scholarship is down to money and finances. So, offering scholarships for particular groups of people can be seen as a way of placing a particular type of trait on a whole group of people. So that, oh, there's a fly. A whole group of people could be, you know, you say this scholarship is for this particular group of people, which you could by default be saying this group of people can't afford me, or can't afford my services, or this kind of group doesn't have this kind of money, or doesn't have this earning capacity, or doesn't have this income, or isn't at this financial status. These are the underlying messages that we have to be conscious of when we're doing anything like that in business. So what you can do instead of that is going, I'm offering scholarships for people who maybe this is a bit of a stretch for them in terms of paying for this particular service. Or I'm offering these scholarships if you are finding it a little bit financially hard at the moment. And that way you eliminate identifiers other than money itself and affordability. And what this then does is it says, I'm not specifically saying a certain group of people have this particular trait, I'm opening it up to all people. But what you can do in your business is have a different scale, which is based on privilege. And then this is where equity can come into your business in terms of when people apply for your scholarship, then they can have different equitable scales to make it more equitable. You can make it more equitable. And that is certainly a way that you can do it. And that is not something that you need to broadcast to anyone. But what would be really very interesting for you to look at is when you open up a scholarship to all people, look at who applies for those particular scholarships. You know, if people are coming to you and they're using your services, or they're saying, I love what you do, but I can't afford it, or whatever it is, look at those people who are coming to you. If at the moment your business isn't bringing in people who look different, sound different, do all, you know, all the differences, if people aren't diverse coming to you already, it's probably, your business is probably not at a stage where you should be offering these kinds of scholarships. Your business is at a foundational stage in terms of inclusion and diversity, where you need to focus on the foundation of where your business stands, where you stand in these things, and look at educating yourself in your business to make sure that you are being educated on that privilege that you have yourself and your business. Look at the unconscious biases that you have and how those unconscious biases may be shining through in your business. Looking at how you are showing up on social media. Look how you are making a stand or not making a stand in terms of social issues in the world. Now, social issues aren't political. Social issues are based in human rights, and human rights are set in stone. So it's not something to be debated. Human rights are human rights. And this is sometimes I find businesses trip up on. It is absolutely not political at all. There is no debating human rights. And then looking at how you can continue to innovate yourself and your business to support inclusion and accessibility to your services, to make it open to more people. And once you have got that and you've worked through those processes and you find that people are coming to you just as a natural flow, they're coming to you, all people who identify differently, then you can start exploring those scholarships a little bit further, and in terms of making that equitable scale that I just talked about. Because if you do that stuff first, what you're then doing is you're creating an inclusive space, whereas when they come into that space, they're going to feel safe. They're going to feel like they belong, and they're going to know that if something comes up where they may be discriminated against in any way, you will have their back in there, that space, and you will have those guidelines and those rules and that space to make sure they are protected from, you know, even other members that are in those spaces in your community as well. So I hope this has been useful to you. If you have any questions at all, please pop them in the comments and we can discuss them a little bit further. And of course, I don't know if you know me, like know me. My name is Louise O'Reilly, and I am an inclusion and diversity coach, mentor, course creator, and soon to be author. So if you do need help on this stuff, you need one-on-one stuff, or you would like to look at some of my courses that I have, please reach out. I have a lot of free content available because I like to make sure there is something available at every single stage of that money evolution of income that they get. So I have lots of stuff available for you, so just feel free to reach out. Like I said, ask some questions. I am wishing you a most wonderful, beautiful rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world. Sending you so much love, and bye for now.